In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a professional warm melodic house kick and bass setup in the style of Böhmer, Linux, Fakia, and many other melodic house producers. To get a clean, powerful low end in melodic house, you need three things: foundation, character, and movement. So let's break these down. I'm Lauretti from Abstract Music Lab, so let's dive right in. The foundation of your low end is your sub bass, the part that you don't hear but you feel it in your chest, especially in a club. Listen, for example, to this. We're talking about everything below 100 hertz roughly, but you can see that we have a bit of harmonics after 100 hertz as well. And that's because we're using a combination of a sine wave and a saw wave. First, we have a saw wave, which plays the lower harmonics, and also a bit of the higher harmonics as well. And then we add the sine wave to get a bit more juice in the body of the bass here. We're also using the filter over here to filter a bit of the higher frequencies. But we also want those frequencies over here because those are the frequencies that if you don't have it, you're not gonna hear your bass on smaller speakers like your phone, for example. But the key here is the sidechain. We're using sidechain compression directly from the compressor, as you can hear it over here. And we're making super aggressive, and you might hear it, oh, but that annoying click. Yeah, it happens, but you barely listen because that merges with the kick. What is important over here is that whenever we play the kick and the bass, as you can see it over here, whenever the kick comes in, we filter the sub, and this way the sub doesn't collide with the kick. You can also do the same thing that we're doing with sidechain compression with volume sidechaining, which does the same effect. What's important is that you get your sub away from your kick, and that's what we're doing over there to get a cleaner mix and a bit more pumping as well. The next layer is the character. We need something that brings a lot of character and identity to the bass line, like this. And there are a couple of things that we're doing here in the saw bass and also in the sub that gives also extra character, like for example this glide. And also this mod wheel here. Let's check the automation. But why are we using these saw layers? We're using this to make the bass a bit richer because we don't listen to the sub bass in smaller speakers. So we have that character layer to bring the bass a little bit forward and also to create a merge with the melody of the song. So instead of just having bass and melody, we have something that plays in between and makes the transition a bit more fluid. And we can check, for example, what are we using here? Here in the saw bass, we have first a saw. And we're also using a seventh over here. This adds a bit more harmonics and makes the bass a bit richer. And we also have an automation here that we're doing here with the mod wheel. You can see that the mod wheel increases the drive and the cutoff. And also the glide, which includes the portamento that does that wah kind of effect in the sound. We also have the sub to add even more harmonics to the bass. And to make it wider, you can use hyper and dimension, or even just make the oscillators with more unison voices like this, if you want it, but just a little bit of hyper does a lot of things. But it's important to clear that low end, because if you don't clear the low end, this is going to collide with the low end of the sub. For example, this. We already have those frequencies over here coming from the sub bass. We don't need it again. That's why we have this low end over here. This way we add expression and we add character to the bass line that combined. Now we can listen not only in the low end, but also in the high end. Also giving a bit more expression with the effects of width, with the effects over here in the mod wheel, and so on. And there comes the third element, which is the movement of the bass line, which we can add with this element over here. It's a plucky sequence, and if you look at over here, we can put it to 1/16 and zoom it a little bit. You can see that we're using notes that play here. We can see position number 1, 3, 4, 3, 1 again, 2, because mixing them up and not using only position number 1 gives a bit of rhythm and gives a bit of movement to the sound. For example, listen to how it would sound if we just did something like this. But this sounds a lot more groovy, right? and play it along with everything, with the sidechain, you can see how this creates a bit of balance and movement into the sound. But what do we have in this wide layer that creates movement? Because it's a plucky bass, right? And we can see it over here. It's a plucky bass with a plucky envelope that changes the cutoff. And it's also wide because it has unison and detune, which makes it wider and makes it feel bigger. No effects over here, just some effects over here to trim the low end, as I mentioned before, because we don't need it. The low end, we already have it from the sub. So there you have it. We have the sub component, which is more on the mono because that's where it needs to be filled. We have the character bass, which is slightly wider. And we have that wide bass giving a bit more width and movement to the sound. This creates a nice sense of depth into that bass line and also creates a nice sense of movement into the bass line, making your low end really punchy and also moving a lot. But there's one other element that it's really important to constitute a powerful low end, which is the kick. And if you see the kick, it has to be something that's powerful enough and also plays kind of side by side with the bass. Listen, for example. You can see that the kick is not louder than the bass and the bass is not louder than the kick. But there are a few things for this to happen. For example, if the kick was too short, listen to how it would sound like. We're losing a lot of it. And if the kick is too long as well, we're not going to leave enough space for the bass to play. So what do I like doing whenever I'm finding my kick? I normally like, if we put to 1/16, find a kick that it's at least 1/16 and at most 2/16. This way we have a kick that is powerful enough in that low end, but also has space enough for the sub to play along. It's important also to understand what are we missing in the kick and to understand the regions of the kick. For example, we have the sub of the kick, which mainly plays over here. Of course, we're distorting because we're boosting it a lot. We have the body of the kick that plays here. We have the knock that plays around here. As you can see, the low and the high knock. And we have the attack that plays mainly over here. But the foundation of a good kick starts with a good sample. So instead of trying to process the kick and make it the best that you can, sometimes looking for a good sample is the best thing that you can do. And that's normally how I do it in my own song. And to finish off the percussions, we can add some groove also by adding some toms, like this one over here. What are we playing here? Again, if we put this to 1/16, we are playing here position number 3, position number 4, position number 3, number 4. Again, why are we doing this? To make it groovy, because if we just put it over here along with the kick that plays in position number 1, it's going to add up to the kick and that's not what we want. So we add groove by adding these toms to either position number 2, 3, or 4. Just to give an example, or position number 3, or position number 4. And remember, a few things that is important whenever you're using toms. Either you use the toms and make them match the bass note that you're playing, or you make it in the key of your song. So let's say that your song is in F sharp. Place your tom somewhere within the scale of F sharp minor, for example. This way you make sure that your tom is in sync with the key of your song as well. And that's it. You have 3 layers of bass line for a powerful, clean, warm, professional low end, a kick to complement that low end, and a tom to add groove into the low end as well. Now, if you want more professional melodic house sounds, you can check the pack called Fragments. It's available over here in the description below that has Ableton project files, Serum presets, and a lot of samples that you can use in your own projects. And if you want to take your low end further, we dive much deeper in our full course, again available here in the description below. We show you how to build the perfect melodic techno bass line to match your kick, and how to fine tune your synths and also your kick to have a cohesive low end unit. And that's it. Let us know over here in the description below what else do you want us to cover, and we'll make sure to cover it in the next video. This is Lauretti from Abstract Music Lab signing off. Ciao!